Diseases are the biggest enemies to baby chicks during the first or the early days of their lives. To be productive and profitable in poultry farming, a farmer has to do his or her best to protect and support the chicks. That is why in today's video we will be discussing about how to treat the most common diseases in chicks organically using natural organic treats, and also we will be discussing what causes these diseases, the symptoms that you can look out for so that you can know that these diseases have affected your chicks, and finally we shall talk about how to prevent these most common diseases in chicks. Therefore, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and also hit the like button, because that is very helpful to the channel. Without wasting much of your time, let's get into the first most common and one of the fierce debilitating disease in chicks, and that is coccidiosis. Coccidiosis, being a killer disease even to the older birds, can wipe out the whole flock of chicks if proper caution is not taken. Coccidiosis is caused by parasites called Eimeria. These coccidial parasites affect the small intestines and other digestive organs of the chicks, therefore bringing complications that can lead to death. How are you going to know that the chicks are suffering from coccidiosis? Number one, you are going to observe bloody feces. Number two, you are going to see a loss of appetite. The wattles of the chicks will become pale. Also, there will be diarrhea, dullness, and dehydration, among other symptoms that are associated with a sicky chicks. You can be assured that these clinical signs will not leave your chickens alive. Therefore, here are some of the ways that you can use to prevent coccidiosis. Number one is by making sure that the littering material or the bedding is dry as much as possible, because the coccidio parasites usually survive in dampy places. The second way to prevent coccidiosis in your chicks is to keep the drinkers and feeders clean. Coccidia parasites also like dirty and dampy places. The natural treatment I am about to give you works properly when accompanied using the preventative measures that I have given you. Garlic is the most effective natural organic treat that is able to kill these parasites of coccidiosis, because it contains allicin, which is a component that has anti-coccidio properties. The easiest way to give this garlic to your chicks is to take a few garlic cloves, chop them into smaller pieces, and drop them into the drinking water of the chicks. Alternatively, you can obtain the garlic extract and add a few drops into the chicks' drinking water. Keep adding this garlic extract or garlic chopped in the chicks' drinking water daily as a fresh preparation until you see the response against the disease. Number two, the most common disease that affects our chicks is the pasty bat. Pasty bat is a condition where a dark hard ball is seen and felt sticking on the vent of the chicks. Some of the things that can cause a pasty bat is the stress to the chicks, excessive heating conditions of the brooder, and also indigestion due to the constituents of the diet. This condition is very common in chicks, and if left untreated, it causes death, as the chick cannot be able to pass the poop out. Prevention is by avoid stress to the chicks, make sure that the brooder temperatures are at optimum, and most importantly, prevent indigestion. To avoid indigestion, which can cause a pasty bat, add apple cider vinegar. You can add it into the chicks' drinking water because it helps them to cope with stress. The treatment is quite easy. You are going to wet this hard ball in the vent area using warm water. This warm water will be absorbed by with this hard ball of fecal material that have stuck on the vent, and this warm water will also make the area around the vent to be moist, and this will help pull this hard ball out of the vent of the chick. When pulling out this sticky ball from the vent of the chick, make sure that you do it gently to avoid causing harm or injury to the chick. After removing this hard ball of fecal material that had stuck on the chick's vent, apply some little oil to prevent more fecal material from sticking. You can also use herbal salve or antibacterial ointment after removing the fecal material. And the third most common disease in chicks is the Marek's disease. The Marek's disease is a severe viral infection that causes paralysis in birds. The Marek's disease virus affects the nerves and the brain of the chicks, leading to death. Unfortunately, this disease has no treatment once the chicks are affected. However, some of the most observable signs of Marek's disease are neurological. For example, inability to move, and the legs are spread wide apart. One leg is spread forward, and the other one towards the back, and this is a sign of paralysis. The chick will not be able to eat or drink. Also, there will be the feathers will be ruffled. Marek's disease has a very high mortality of up to 100%, meaning you can lose all your chicks due to this disease. Therefore, some of the ways that you can use to prevent your chicks is by building a strong immune system in your chicks. The most amazing things is that despite the viral diseases having no treatment, the body of the chicks can produce immune cells that can kill the virus if the immunity is boosted. The first way of how to boost this immunity is through vaccination. The vaccination for Marek's disease is done in the hatchery. Make sure you confirm if the chicks are vaccinated for Marek's disease when buying the chicks at the hatchery. It is done right after the chicks are hatched because the virus is so common at the farm, and upon delivery of unvaccinated chicks, they can easily get infected, and this can lead to loss of even the whole flock. Number two, the second way that you can boost the immunity of the chicks is by adding organic natural supplement to the chicks' drinking water. These natural organic additives come with a wide variety of advantages, and one of them is to boost the chick immunity. Make sure that you add the apple cider vinegar or the garlic or even the probiotic powder into the chick's diet. The instructions on how to add these supplements have been discussed in depth in our videos. Therefore, make sure that you check them out. The second way of how you can prevent the Marek's disease in your chicks is to ensure that the brooder is clean. Always disinfect the brooder properly before bringing in the chicks. Also, make sure that you make disinfection a routine during raising the chicks. The third way is to prevent the spread of Marek's disease. You are going to prevent this spread by isolating the sick birds from the healthy ones and giving them water and feeds with the supplements that I have mentioned, and also make sure that you contact your vet if the condition is severe and widespread in your flock. The fourth most common disease in chicks is the respiratory illnesses. Respiratory illnesses are infections of the breathing system of chicks. They are usually caused by viruses, bacteria, and fungi. These diseases have more or less similar clinical symptoms. Some of these clinical symptoms include watery eyes, coughing, sneezing, runny nostrils, gapping, and a gapping is a sign of difficulty in breathing. Also, the birds will look dull, depressed, and also they will lack the appetite to eat. The best way to treat respiratory illnesses is first to prevent them. Number one way that you're going to prevent these diseases from affecting your chicks is buying chicks from a reputable hatchery. Number two is minimizing the dust in the brooder and also in the chick house. Number three is by avoiding dampness and manure accumulation accumulation in the brooder or the chick house, because this leads to ammonia accumulation, which predisposes the chicks to respiratory infection. The fourth way to prevent respiratory illnesses in chicks is to have a good aeration in the chick and in the chick house and in the brooder, because this helps to bring in fresh air and get out contaminated air. Number 5 is through vaccination. Some of the respiratory illnesses have vaccines that are used to prevent them. Make sure you consult your vet and on the best vaccination schedule and vaccines to use to prevent these diseases. Some of the organic treats to use in prevention and treatment of respiratory illnesses are the mint, the rosemary, oregano, and the thyme. These organic treats can be added into chicken feeds as powders. Also, they can be added into water as either oil extracts or in fresh form. When in fresh form, they are usually chopped into small pieces and put into the drinking water of the chicks. The other most common condition in chicks is the crooked neck or the stargazing, also known as the wry neck. This is a condition in chicks where the chick is unable to support the neck. Therefore, the neck may coil upwards, downwards, or even into any direction. The chick is unable to walk normally and hold its head upright. This condition is attributed to vitamin B deficiency, but its exact cause is not specifically known. However, this condition can be corrected using supplementation with natural organic additives. You are going to take 1 clove of garlic plus 1 teaspoonful of raw honey and add into the water of the chicks. You can also add some raw fresh thyme. Do this until the chick recovers. It takes about 1 week for the chicks with this condition to recover. Make sure also you supplement your chicks with vitamins, because we have seen that vitamin deficiency also can cause this condition. If the symptoms persist, do not hesitate to call your vet, because it may be a symptom of a more severe disease. The other most common disease of chicks is the Spraddle legs. Spraddle legs is a condition where the legs of the chicks slip out to the sides, therefore making standing and walking impossible. This condition is caused by high fluctuations of incubator temperatures. Number 2, it is caused by slippery brooder floor. For example, when using the newspapers as the floor of your brooder or as the bedding for your chicks. The other thing that can cause Spraddle legs in chicks is the vitamin deficiency. This condition can be prevented by, number 1, buying chicks from a reputable hatchery. Number 2 is avoid using slippery material or bedding for your chicks. I recommend that you use the wood shavings. And number 3, also you are going to supplement your chicks with the diets that have vitamin supplements. This condition can be corrected by using hobos like these ones that I saw are being sold at the Amazon. Make sure that you hit the video on your screen right now so that you can be able to know the expert egg hatching tricks to improve hatchability of your eggs.